If you think owning some gold or silver means you're safe in 2026, you're already exposed, and the reason why is about to make most smart investors very uncomfortable. Because the biggest losses in monetary resets don't hit people with no metals. They hit people with not enough, and almost no one realizes where that line actually is. Most people treat gold and silver like lucky charms. Buy a little, forget about it. Assume protection is handled. History punishes that thinking. In every major monetary transition, the people who believed they were prepared discovered too late that symbolic ownership does nothing when confidence breaks and liquidity dries up.
What we're
moving into isn't a normal downturn. This is a structural shift at currency, credibility, political pressure, and trust all colliding at once. And in that environment, vague exposure is not protection. Gold and silver don't save you from chaos. They save purchasing power when systems quietly change the rules. So the real question isn't should you own metals in 2026? How much actually changes your outcome when the pressure hits? To answer that, you need to understand what metals are not. They are not growth assets. They are not volatility shields. They are insurance against policy failure. And insurance only works when it's sized correctly. Too small, and it feels comforting but irrelevant. Too large, and it becomes a liquidity trap that creates stress instead of reducing it. Here's where 2026 becomes different. Governments are saturated with debt. Interest costs are eating budgets alive. Central banks are cornered between defending currencies or propping market sand. History is clear. Markets get saved first, savers pay later. That's when real yields disappear. Currencies leak value, and tangible monetary assets stop behaving like commodities and start behaving like lifeboats. But here's where it gets interesting. Gold and silver don't respond the same way, and treating them like interchangeable assets is one of the most expensive mistakes people make. Gold is a credibility hedge. It protects against trust failure in currency itself. Silver is different. Silver is volatile, consumed, and tied to energy, tech, and defense. That dual role makes silver explosive later in the cycle, but unstable early on. Holding one without understanding the timing of the other creates imbalance. And this is where you've been misled. Those neat rules like 5% in gold or 10% in precious metals. They're not safety guidelines, they're averages stripped of context. Allocation isn't about copying a portfolio, it's about matching exposure to risk. Someone leveraged, dependent on financial markets, and holding cash-heavy savings needs far more protection than someone with low debt and diversified income. Enough is relative, but it's not arbitrary. Metals can't offset losses elsewhere. You're not hedged or just hopeful. Another mistake people make is time horizon confusion. Gold and silver feel boring when owned correctly. They lag during bubbles. They underperform during euphoria. That discomfort is the price of insurance. People who sell metals because they feel dead almost always exit right before they matter. Now layer in the signals institutions are sending. Central banks who issue currency are still accumulating gold. Not because collapse is imminent, but because they're reducing counterparty risk. When the rule makers choose assets that can't be printed, that's not noise. That's a message. So how much is actually enough to matter, not emotionally, but mathematically? Historically, during periods of inflation, repression, and currency stress, meaningful protection didn't come from token exposure. It came from roughly 10 to 25% of net worth in precious metals. Adjusted for debt, income stability, and liquidity needs. Below that range, metals don't move the needle. Above it, volatility and liquidity risks start working against you. Inside that range, structure matters. Gold is the anchor. Silver is the amplifier. That's why conservative frameworks often lean 2/3 gold, 1/3 silver within the metals. Allocation. It dampens volatility while preserving upside if monetary stress accelerates. More aggressive splits increase swings and test conviction. The best allocation is the one you can hold without panic when prices go quiet or violent. Ownership form matters too. Physical metals remove counterparty risk but reduce flexibility. Paper instruments add liquidity but rely on system stability. In low-stress environments, the difference feels small. In high-stress environments, it becomes everything. That's why layered exposure, not all physical, not all paper, creates resilience. Liquidity is the silent killer of bad planning. Metals are not emergency funds. If you're forced to sell protection to survive short-term stress, the strategy has already failed. Metals sit on top of cash buffers, not instead of them. And here's the sequence most people miss. Gold tends to move first during confidence shocks. Silver usually accelerates later when liquidity expands and inflation becomes undeniable. Understanding that order prevents emotional whiplash. There's also a psychological threshold that matters more than any percentage. Enough is the amount you can hold without constantly second-guessing yourself. For some, that's covering a year of core expenses if currency weakens. For others, it's protecting a slice of long-term savings from silent dilution. What doesn't work is assuming a small position will magically scale when stress arrives. It won't. Another trap is price fixation. Asking whether gold or silver is expensive in nominal terms ignores the real question. What do they buy relative to currency, supply, debt, and trust? In a world where money grows faster than goods, nominal prices lose meaning. Purchasing power is the only scoreboard. As 2026 approaches, the margin for error shrinks. Adjusting early is calm. Adjusting under pressure is chaos. This isn't about going Allen. It's about being intentional before urgency takes over. Gold provides stability. Silver provides optionality. Used together, they reduce regret. Used blindly, they amplify mistakes. The people who win transitions aren't perfect predictors. They're disciplined positioners. Us. And enough isn't a headline number. Us. It's the amount that meaningfully protects your future without trapping your present. In the next video, I'll break down exact scenario-based allocations for 2026, including how metals behave if inflation spikes, stalls, or flips into repression, and the biggest mistake that wipes out underprepared holders even when they did everything right. If you want that breakdown, subscribe. Share this with someone who thinks a little gold is enough and stay ahead of the shift before the window closes.